On 7th April 2017, a subcommittee dispatched a cabinet paper to Sri Lanka's government on 33 young elephants in state custody. This is the story of why these 33 babies matter.
There was an accelerated program of trying to confiscate illegally captured elephants after the change of government.
After the January 2015 election, Honourable Navin Dissanayake was given the Ministries of Sports and Tourism, which included wildlife, to oversee during the transitional government. He entrusted Deputy Minister Vasantha Senanayake with the management of wildlife resources.
My mission was really to start finding out about how secure our wildlife was. And in that exercise, one of the areas that I stumbled upon was the illicit trade in young elephants. How I came about was examining the books. It was obvious, it was quite plain that there was a trade of illicit elephants happening.
These 33 elephants I'm talking about that have been taken into custody of the wildlife department have been elephants that people have gone into the wild and captured them illegally.
Sometimes tranquilizing the mother.
Or you have to kill the mother, because the mother is not going to give up a baby easy.
I had to carry out secret raids. I had to send spies to the locations and ascertain whether those elephants were actually there the night before. Everywhere I went, I actually found elephants.
So the wildlife department and the minister through the CID, filed action in court. And the court ordered the confiscation of these animals.
LT Pro travelled in search of the stolen 33. At the elephant transit home in Udavalave, we found 4 of the youngest stolen elephants. Although kept in a separate holding area, these 4 babies are chain-free, and human contact, however well-meaning, is strictly forbidden. Sources within the DWC confirm these 13 elephants are in good condition, chain-free and independently eating from the wild vegetation around them. We then travelled to the Pinnavala Elephant Orphanage, where 16 of the supposedly older elephants are in the custody of the zoo department. As you can see, the elephants are in slightly better condition than the general population, but the cruelty and the chains remain the great leveller here at Pinnavala.
So the cabinet paper I put up is, I said immediately we have to decide if the court take this case for another 10 years. So we have to take the responsibility of their safety, because someone can sabotage. So it's a risk for us. We are keeping them daily feeding. How much we are spending?
With regard to the question that the government does not have resources to keep 40 elephants, I think that's a joke. I think that's no excuse at all.
So we like to say immediate action of solution.
The cabinet paper supports the prosecution of poachers and government officials involved in the illicit trade of baby elephants. But, according to the cabinet paper, these 5 ministers will decide which of the illegal owners may apply to take their stolen elephant back. Clause B2 recommends that this subcommittee will decide on which fraudulent elephant licenses will be reissued on a case-by-case basis. This is against the present law on elephant licensing.
This was an illegal act of elephants being captured from the wild and being kept. So if you now give it back to those same people, you are basically justifying that.
If you try to regularize an illegal act through this cabinet paper, then you're going to set a precedent. It's going to be a bad precedent.
Even if you charge them money, then it's like selling them back to those same people. From a conservation point of view, I think that's something that as conservationists, I or other conservationists cannot agree with.
The reason the government is trying to regularize this is because the people who have the elephants are politically well connected, and the Buddhist monks who are involved in it are also very well connected to government.
තවදුරටත් කියන්නේ අම්මා මරලා පටන් වරන් එනනේ. තවදුරටත් කියන්නේ මේ සිවුර මේ අරහත් ජජේ බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ අවිහිංසාවාදී ලෝකෙට පතුරවන්න දීපු අපේ ලයිසන් එක. ඒක හරහා කරන්නේ තවත් හිංසාවාදී වැඩක්ද? ඒකට මේක ඉඩ තියෙද මේකේ? මේකෙන් ඉඩක් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ.
I must say there was constant lobbying from certain politicians. Simply brought up arguments like, we have enough wild elephants anyway, so we need to have more elephants used for cultural and other things, so we can maybe sell these elephants and make a lot of money for the government, and maybe individually US minister can make something also, was a suggestion which
What was your response?
That has somehow not been in our tradition of politics.
When the 100-day interim government was reshuffled to create the new cabinet of Sri Lanka, Honorable Vasantha Senanayake was assigned to a different ministry.
The president called for a meeting to discuss the long and short-term needs for elephants for the Perahara. The Diyawada Nilame and the Basnayaka Nilames of the four main Devalayas were present. The Minister of Wildlife, Secretary to the Ministry of Wildlife, and myself as the Director General, and the Attorney General was present at this meeting. There was a suggestion made which was using a legal loophole that I, as the Director General of Wildlife, could go to court and seek court permission to release these elephants, stating that there was a shortage of elephants for the Perahara. I maintained the position that there was no shortage of elephants for the Perahara. I said, as long as I am in the position of Director General of Wildlife, I will not do that because it is against my conscience to do it and it is unethical for me to do. And I would rather resign my job than do this.
1 week after the meeting he describes, Dr. Sumit Pilipitya resigned as Director General of Wildlife Conservation.
If they're wild born, that's where they should live. If they're captive born, that's another issue altogether. That's another category of elephant.
You can't keep an elephant in your backyard. Elephants are social animals. They're big animals, need lots of food and water.
As LT Pro discovered in Udavalave, the Elephant Transit Home is already providing a successful rehabilitation model. To date, the ETH has released into the wild 102 of the 103 baby elephants in its care.
And that program is, maybe it can be improved for sure, but it's by and large it has been successful. So if that could have been done, so we are now saying, why don't we look at elephants that are a little bit older than that? Let's try that.
But those are the things that have to be seriously and scientifically explored.
It is not that Sri Lanka is short of knowledge, not only on wildlife, but on almost every sector. It is whether or not the politicians want to make use of that knowledge and make decisions based on information.
There are researchers who have been giving the government information for the last 25 years, at least, that I know of, and good information based on hard scientific evidence. But they just don't take any notice. So it's just a matter of, the politicians and the policymakers refusing to listen to science, basically.
The government has the opportunity to put an end to this trafficking.
You understand this? It's a problem. You buy a car, and that car is financed and some bogus number plate registration also. You are in trouble. You are arrested.
Any one of us buys any property, a vehicle or land, the onus is on us to make sure that the paperwork for the vehicle or the paperwork for the land is legal. We can't buy it and say, well, we bought it in good faith, we didn't realize that the deed was fraudulent.
මේ සත්තු ටික අයිත් ඔය කියන්නා වූ ව්‍යාජ හිමිකරුවන්ට දුන්නොත් දෙන්නේ මේකේ නීතියේ ආධිපත්‍යය සහ නීතිය හැල්ලුවට ලක්වීම.
So I didn't believe that there was anything called anybody who has purchased these elephants in good faith. Everybody jolly well knew what they were doing.
Now if they are illegal elephants taken and approved, we are going to give them. Let the court decide and give us. Then we take over. We take over. Then we are our person. Then we will leave.
Now all the government has to do is to put pressure on the Attorney General to withdraw the cases. Then everybody is legal after that. That is my worry.
On 25th July 2017, a magistrate's court ordered the release of 22 of the 33 baby elephants for use in Perahara. 17 have been released to the illegal owners, including the poachers.
ඔයාගේ දෙයක් මම හොරකම් කරලා තියෙනවා. ආයි තුසාවියෙන් කියනවා කමන්නේ නැහැ මෙයාට දෙමු කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ හොරාටම හොරාටගේ අයිතිවාසිකම් අර හොරකම් කරපු බඩුවේ අයිතිවාසිකම් ලබා දෙනවා. එතකොට ඒක නීතියද?
I think the Diyawada Nilame said that there was a shortage of elephants for the Perahara. To which, as Director General of Wildlife, I disagreed because at that time there were 127 legally licensed elephants that the Wildlife Department had records of. Generally, the Kandy Perahara has 80-90 elephants, so he would have. I told the Diyawada Nilame that he would have his 80 or 90 elephants, and there is no shortage.
පෙරහැරවල් කියන්නේ බිස්නස් එක. අද තියෙන කතාව.
The message out there to the elephant smuggling, kidnapping mafia is this can continue.
In Maximus Maximus, We learnt that we can soon lease ourselves a baby elephant for 10 million rupees in cash.
I don't really believe that there is a serious overcrowding problem. I think this is also another way of trying to release elephants to private individuals.
The magistrates' court ruling last month legitimized the illegal trade of baby elephants from the wild.
මේ බෞද්ධ සමාජය තනහ කරගන්න කාරණාවක් නෙවෙයි. අපි බුද්ධාගමත් එක්ක මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ ලියලා ගමු.
One of the greatest environmentalists ever, the Buddha, has been talking about compassion on environment and looking after nature, looking after animals.
It's come to a time where we have to stop justifying cruelty in the name of tradition.
What I'd like to see the government do is basically honor the laws that are in place to conserve elephants in the wild.
Personally, I'm very for the Dalada Perhera, but I do think it is ridiculous to have little Perheras of no significance from every temple. That is what caused the demand for elephants, really.
This is all symbolism. These are all tactics.
If the elephant can be rehabilitated, then the priority should be given to rehabilitation and not to be given back to the owner or to anyone else.
Before what has taken place illegally, the capture from the wild, the kidnapping, is made into a sort of a non-crime.
An elephant is an important, it's basically the flagship for our natural heritage.
You see, because I love the animals. Elephants such a precious treasure for us.
Arhat Mahinda made a statement which was animals and birds have every right to use this land as much as humans, and that the king was only the trustee.
Government has a duty to make sure that animals and their rights to this island are taken care of.
The government is also a trustee of this land. The government is not the owner of this land.
මේක ඇත්තටම තියෙන සල්ලි. අපි සල්ලි ටිකක් හොයලා දෙමු පන්සල්ට. මේ ඉල්ලන ඇයට. මේ වැඩේ කරන්න එපා.
Sri Lanka has legalized elephant trading.